Okay. So I want you to take a look at that note sheet, and I also want you to take a look at problem number 5 from your homework. The note sheet that I handed you in class has 6 steps on it. And they're broken out pretty well. Does everybody have one? Because I'm confused why I have all these extras back here, but worry about that later. What does step 1 say to do on that sheet? Isolate one variable. Do I have a variable isolated all by itself at number 5? No, I don't. So I'm going to have to isolate one of these variables. This x, this y, this x, or this y. Which one looks the easiest to isolate? Aldo, louder? The first x. The first x is mostly by itself. I have to do something so it can be by itself. So let's rewrite this over here. You know, I was noticing, and I was noticing this morning when I was watching Denise, that they don't give you a lot of room for these problems. You might want to be doing these on separate pieces of paper. I'm not sure. Anthony, how would I isolate the variable here? Subtract what? Subtract 7y from both sides. Excellent. Sonia, what does that leave me with? X equals. Okay, so Sonia said negative 18y, but she's doing that thing that I told you guys not to do and that I told you would do over and over. Can you combine these?
No.
No. You cannot combine negative 11 and negative 7y because one has a variable and one doesn't. So Eric, what do I write instead? Negative 11 minus 7y. I just write down what I see. Negative 11 minus 7y. Okay, so step 1 is done. I have isolated the variable. Take a look at step 2. Priscilla, what does step 2 say to do?
Substitute the expression for that variable.
So substitute that expression, this side, in for the variable you solved for, into the other equation. What variable did I solve for? X. Class, what variable did I solve for? X. So in the other equation, instead of writing x, I'm going to write negative 11 minus 7y. Negative 2 times negative 11 minus 7y. Then what do I write after that? I just write what's left, right? Minus 5y equals 4. Okay. Step 3. What does step 3 say to do? Solve for the variable remaining in that equation. What variable do I have left? Y. So I got to do all the steps. This is actually a really big step. I got to do all the steps it takes to solve for y. Who knows what the first step is when it looks like that I have to do? Kelby?
Distribute.
I have to distribute. What multiplication do I have here, Kelby? What is the actual multiplication problem that I have based off of that?
Negative 2 times negative 11.
And he said negative 2 times negative 11. You got to make sure you include all the signs. So class, what is negative 2 times negative 11? Positive 22. Then I distribute over here too. Camille, what is that multiplication? I actually want you to say out the multiplication. Nope. You got to use the signs. Negative 2 times what? Negative 7y. Negative 2 times negative 7y. What happens when I multiply two negatives together, guys? It becomes positive 14y. Minus 5y equals 4. Martin, what step do I do now? Is there anything you want me to do on this side? Okay, so grab 14 and what? I see what you're wanting me to do. I have to do something first, though. Who did you know what I want to do here?
I subtract, right?
There's a phrase I want you to say that starts with a C. There's a phrase that I'm looking for you to say that starts with a C. Martin? No, not contribute. I want everybody to contribute. Who did you know what I'm trying to get you to say? Combine like terms. If I have two variables on the same side, I have to combine like terms. 14y minus 5y. What would 14y minus 5y be? 9y. So I have 22 plus 9y equals 4. You guys, if you didn't get this right on your books, make sure you're fixing it. Okay, now I can finish solving. Hernan, what do I do now? Okay, I got to get y by itself, right? Am I going to get rid of the 9 or the 22? I get rid of the 22. How do I get rid of that 22? From both sides, right? Subtract 22 on both sides. Left with 9y equals negative 18. We're almost there, guys. Now what do I do? Divide by 9. I get y equals negative 2. So that was a lot of steps for number 3. Solve. Okay? Denise, what does step number 4 say to do?
Substitute the value for the variable for that variable into either original equation and solve for the variable.
Okay. So substitute what we solved for into any original equation and solve. Which, I don't know, does any of these look easier? Does the first one or second one look easier? I guess the first one because of that x, maybe. So we're going to use x plus 7y equals negative 11. But where will that negative 2 go? Class, where will that negative 2 go? In for y. X plus 7 times negative 2 equals negative 11. Well, what's 7 times negative 2? Negative 14. Kaylee, how do I solve that? Add 14 to both sides. And x equals 3. Okay, what's step 5 say to do? Yeah, write it as an ordered pair, x comma y. So how am I going to write that? 3 negative 2. And finally, step 6. What is step 6? Check your answer by substituting 3 in for x and negative 2 in for y. So this one would become 3 plus 7 times negative 2 equals negative 11. If you're in class, you could use your calculator to see if that's true, or we could just do this. What's 7 times negative 2, guys?
14. No, negative 14.
Negative 14. What's 3 plus negative 14? Negative 11. That checks out. And we could do the other one as well, too. That one checks out. Does this make sense, guys? Okay. Are you starting to feel more comfortable with this? And it's been a few days. It's our 4th day on it. Hopefully it's starting to feel a little bit better. Let's do a special one. It's number 8. What's the first step on your note sheet?
Isolate variable.
Isolate variable. Do I have one already isolated?
Yes.
I do?
No.
No, not on number 10. Which one looks easiest, though? The top one again. X minus 8y equals 17. I need to get x by itself. Jasmine, what will I do to get x by itself? On number 8. It's okay. Look up here. I got, sorry, not number 8. What number am I on, guys? 10. I want to get this x by itself. How will I get rid of this part? Okay, it's already being subtracted, so what do I do to get rid of it? You add it. I'm going to add 8y both sides. Anthony, what's left on this side?
X equals 17 plus 8y.
If x equals 17 plus 8y. Perfect. Okay? So that was step one. Camille, what's step two say? Okay, so substitute what we solved in for x into the other equation. We can't use the one we were working on, we've got to use the other equation. So instead of negative 3 times x, I'm going to go negative 3 times what? What's going to go inside parentheses here? 17 plus 8y. Plus 24y equals negative 51. Okay, step 3 says to solve for that variable. I feel like I left something out, did I? Does anybody see something I left out?
The X. No.
I made a tiny mistake. I left out a y somewhere. Where is it? After the 24. I got a y there. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it does kind of look like a y. All right, negative 3 times 17 and negative 3 times 8y gives me negative 51 minus 24y plus 24y equals negative 51. Anybody seeing something here? What is negative 24y plus 24y? 0. That goes away. It's 0. It's gone. What am I left with on this side? Negative 51. What's on the other side? Okay, what happens when variables are completely gone? It's either no solution or infinitely many solution, and we got to decide which one it is. It's a true statement, so what's my answer? Infinitely, you have to write it out, many solutions. Okay. All right, questions on number 10. One more we're going to look at. Let's take a look at number 14, story problem. Oh, it talks about DVDs. The number of DVDs sold at a store in a month was 920, and the number of DVDs sold decreased by 12 per month. The number of Blu-ray discs sold in the same store in the same month was 502, and the number of Blu-ray discs sold increased by 26 per month. So DVDs are going down, Blu-rays are going up. Let D represent the number of discs sold, and T represent the time in months. Now, when you get to these story problems, I want you to underline what D is. So D is what? Number of discs sold. What is T? Time in months. Okay? So here's our system. What's nice about this system? D is alone, which means I can do a substitution automatically. I can skip to step 2 and substitute that in for D. So what's the first thing I'm going to write down here?
920.
Awesome. Equals what? 500. Class, come on. Oh, just Eric. All right. Okay. Can I combine like terms? Can I go negative 12t plus 26t? No. Why? They're on different sides. So I got to eliminate one. If I can't combine them, I have to eliminate one. Which one would I eliminate? The negative 12t makes it easier. Why? Because it's smaller and my answer will be positive. So how do I eliminate negative 12t? Add 12t. Add 12t. What's left on the left side? 920 equals 502 plus 38t. Camille, what's the next step in solving that? You're saying the right number, I just need the whole thing. Subtract what? Oh, okay. 502 for both sides, right? Camille, I know this is 38t. I need some help from some of you. What is 920 minus 502? 418. I would agree with that. So I have 418, I'm just rewriting so I can see it better. Priscilla, what do I do to both sides? Divide by what? 38. Again, help me out, guys. I have no idea. How many t's is that worth? Is it 11? Okay. Am I done? No, I know t is 11, but I don't know what d is. I got to take that 11 and put it in for a t. This was all step 3. Step 4 says take what you solved for and put it in for a variable. Which one looks easier, top or bottom?
Bottom.
I like bottom because it's all positive, right? So if I have, like I said, I don't run out of room here. Let's make this bigger. If I have d equals 502 plus 26 times t, that's the same thing as d equals 502 plus 26 times what? Class? 11. All right, so I have 502 plus, help me with 26 times 11?
26.
Let's see, 260 plus 26 is 286. 502 plus 286? 700. Come on, guys.
788.
That's an easy one. 6 and 2 is 8, 8 and 0 is 8, 2 and 5 is 7. You guys can do that. Okay, let's answer the questions. If this trend continues, how many months will the number of DVDs sold equal the number of Blu-ray discs sold? How many months, guys?
11.
11 months. How did you pick out the 11?
Because it's 11.
11 is T, which is time in months, which we underlined up here. Then ask the question, how many of each is sold in that month? How many of each is sold? 788 what? Discs. That's the answer to that question. Kind of seeing how to do it? Are we getting better at it? Okay. All right, so we're going to practice some more. Go ahead and close your books. And we're going to practice some problems from a worksheet that I'm going to hand out. Okay, so I handed you a worksheet. What do you notice about this worksheet? We'll turn it over. It's not just graphing. It's graphing and what? Substituting. This is going to be a good review for both 11.1 and 11.2. Now, look at number 1. What form are these equations in number 1? Slope-intercept form. So let's write slope-intercept form. Make yourself a little note here. When it's in slope-intercept form, what things do I need? I need M and B. Okay, so next to each equation, I want you to write M equals and B equals next to each equation. Okay. When I say go, will you tell me what the B is in the first equation on your mark? Get set, go. -3. When I say go, tell me what the M is on your mark. Get set, go. 5/2. Don't say the X. Okay. What's the B in the second one? 1. What's the M in the second one? 1/2. You guys are doing very well. So let's graph the first one. Let's graph it. What color is that one right there? Is that red? What color do I pick? Red. Okay. Graph the first one in red. So, where do I put my first dot for the first equation? -3. Up, down, left, right. Down 3 because it's -3. And then the slope is 5/2. So how do I use that? Up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then run 2. Graph's too small. I don't see that I can repeat that. Would you agree? Okay. So let's intersect those lines. Draw a nice straight line using a straight edge of some sort with arrows. And actually, I'm going to adjust my line just a little bit. So it goes through, right through the center of that point. Okay? And I'm going to adjust it a little bit more. All right. Second equation, let's do that one in whatever color this is. Where do I put my first dot at? Up one, down one, left one, up one. The b was 1, so I put it at 1. It says my slope is 1/2, so what do I do? Up 1 over 2. Oh, that's really nice. Why do I think that's really nice? It tells me where the intersection is. So I'm going to draw this nice quick line just to show that that's a line. And what is the answer? 2, 2. Make sense? Okay. Skip to number 5. Number 5 is on the back, I believe. What form are these in? Standard form. So let's make a little note about standard form. Now, on slope-intercept form, I needed M and B. What do I need here? I need X dash and Y dash. I need one more word. Intercepts. Intercepts. Okay, so let's do the first one. What is the equation for the x-intercept? Well, let me write this down first. X-intercept, y-intercept. Looking at this first one, what is the equation for the x-intercept? 2x equals 2. What dropped out when I'm doing the x-intercept? The y. What is the equation for the y-intercept? Y equals 2. Do I need to solve for either one of these? Which one? The x. What do I have to do on this one? Divide by 2, divide by 2. I got x equals 1. Do I need to solve on this one? Class, do I need to solve on the y? No. No, it already says y equals 2. So I'm going to go x equals 1. How do I do that? Class, how do I do an x-intercept of 1? I've only got a couple of people telling me. Jasmine, how do I do an x-intercept that's 1? Okay. Jasmine, how do I do a y-intercept that is 2? Up 2. Okay. Okay, draw a line between those points. Nice long line, because we don't know where it's going to intersect at. Your first one should pretty much always be a nice long line so you can find its intersection. Okay, let's do the second one. I'm going to rewrite the equation so I know which one I'm working on. You do the x-intercept, the y-intercept. What's the equation for the x-intercept, Camille? X equals 4 is exactly right. Kaylee, what is it for the y-intercept? Negative y equals 4. Do I need to solve for either one of these? Oh, I do. I do. Which one? The y. What do I have to divide both sides by in this? Negative 1. Got to get rid of that negative. So y equals, what's 4 divided by negative 1? Negative 4. So x equals 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a dot. Y equals negative 4. So I go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And draw a line between them. Or through them would be a better answer. And where does it look like it intersects at? Over 2, down 2, 2, negative 2. Again, you can check by putting those into the equations and see if they work. I would highly recommend that. Okay, let's do one more together. What kind of things do you see down at the bottom? Substituting. I think we're just doing one more together. I think that's all I said, yeah. If I have y equals and y equals, why is that nice?
Because you don't have to figure it out.
I don't have to figure out what y is. It already tells me what y is. So what do I do with this negative 2x plus 3? Just put it in for y. negative 2x plus 3 equals 3x minus 7. Okay. Can I combine negative 2 and 3? No. Why not, Martin?
Because that one
You can put it in your own words if you want. Well, they each have a variable. I'm sorry. Can I combine negative 2x and 3x? I can't. They're on different sides. I can't just combine them. I have to get rid of one of them. Which one am I going to get rid of? Negative 2x. How do I get rid of negative 2x? Add 2x. Add 2x. What's left on the left side? 3 equals 5x minus 7. Hernan, help me solve the rest of this. What do I do? Add 7 to both sides. What's left on this side? Equals. And now what do I do? Divide by 5. X equals what? 2. Okay, that's step 3 on your work on that note sheet, solving for a variable. Substitute, solve. Step 4 says put it into one of the original equations. Which one looks easier to you guys? First or second? Okay, heard a couple people say the bottom, so we'll use the bottom one. Y equals 3x minus 7, or y equals 3 times what? What am I putting in place of x?
2.
Class, what am I putting in place of x? 2. X was 2, I put 2 in. What is 3 times 2? Well, that's an ugly y. 3 times 2 is 6. Let me rewrite my y. So y equals 6 minus 7. What's 6 minus 7? Negative 1. So my answer is 2, negative 1. Okay? So that's all examples we're going to do in class. What I would like you to do, and I want you to do it this way. I want you to go back to number 2 and do number 2. Then go to number 6. Then go to number 10. You kind of see what I'm saying? Do one of this kind, one of that kind, one of that kind. One of this kind, one of that kind, one of that kind. Is everybody kind of following me? Okay. Get as far as you can. And that's all I'm going to record today.